As always, it is Nick here to bring you back to your day with the crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be discussing Ripple and XRP in addition to the great majority of crypto and finance topics. Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you are all having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. With that being stated, I hope that you are all having a wonderful day. That being said, I have been observing a great deal of interesting conversations concerning XRP stablecoins and even banking coins, right? Around the month of September, and even earlier during the summer, we began to observe a significant amount of movement on large bank tokens. Specifically, Citi, right back in September, we observed that the world's largest banking institution, Citi, will change deposits made by customers into digital tokens that can be transmitted quickly anywhere in the globe now. Quite a few individuals were under the impression that this was going to take the place of XRP, and also that this was going to put an end to XRP. There is no use in doing so. However, a great number of individuals are thinking with their minds closed, such as when you take a closer look at what is taking place here. The entire thing is a fragmentation. Even JP Morgan Chase & Co., as in, when we returned to JP Morgan with the JP Morgan Chase coin, who was utilizing this. Exactly, as if everyone is still under the impression that these enormous corporations like as JP Morgan or even Citi are going to destroy XRP and the Ripple that is being built. And I simply don't get it. I don't get it right. I believe that Brad Garlinghouse provided the finest explanation for this, as well as the best and most comprehensive dissection of it. We had this man from Morgan Stanley who was interviewing me the week before last, and I asked him something along the lines of, so is Morgan Stanley going to use the JPM coin? In all likelihood, the Citi will not use it, and the answer to that question is no. Therefore, we are going to have a wide variety of coins, and we are now working to ensure that this is the case. For example, we have a JP Morgan Chase coin, a Citibank coin, and a variety of other coins. A clue that Bank of America wants to have deposit tokens has even been dropped by the financial institution. And because of this, we are all going to return to having all of these different coins, and we are going to return to the place where we are. Intrepid ability is lacking in this situation. Walled gardens that are a fragmentation. This is exactly what it is. More than that, Garlinghouse weighed in on the seeming exclusivity of JPM coins, saying that let's think about this. It was stated by JP Morgan that they will be offering the JPM coin to institutional customers that deposit $1 with them. A JPM coin will be provided to you, which you will then be able to move around on the JPM ledger. Wait just a moment, if you must use the dollar. In all honesty, I have no idea what the issue is that this resolves, and once more, one thing to keep in mind is that this was the primary focus all the way back in the year 2020. This movie that was created by Brad Garlinghouse is an excellent example of why currently, when we take a closer look at the current state of the financial system, we are still 4 years later. That is correct. It still has room for improvement. It is inevitable that the manner in which we transfer money between walled gardens will undergo a transformation. Teresa Garlinghouse, Brad, take a look at this. The right correspondent banking system was established back in the 1980s. It has not actually progressed at all. On the basis of the rapid messaging that occurs between correspondent banks, you are aware of this. Simply said, the expenses associated with maintaining that infrastructure have increased. After the financial crisis that occurred in 2009 and 2010, one of the things that altered was previously in the event that the Bank of Dan and the Bank of Brad desired to engage in international transactions, it was the case that we would have accounts that were referred to as nostro vastro. In the past, when I deposited cash in the Bank of Dan, it was considered a positive contribution to my capital ratio. Following that financial crisis, we came to the conclusion that putting our faith in other deposits held at other banks would not be as reliable as we had previously believed. As a result, it is no longer relevant, and as a result, banks have reduced their correspondent banking ties, which have decreased by 50% over the course of the past 15 years. Nevertheless, international transactions that span borders continue to expand. As far as we are concerned, these are technologies that date back several decades. We have the ability to modernize them with the technology of today, which is based on the internet, and ensure that these transactions take place in real time. You are absolutely correct, and keep in mind that none of this is going to take place overnight. When we take a look at the correspondent banking industry, we can see that there is a huge change going place. However, I believe that a lot of people need to take a step back and realize why this is taking so much time. This is something that is already happening. because I got the impression that everyone is thinking, all right, well, we've been hearing this for years and years and years and years, and nothing's happening. But think about all of the major events that have occurred in just the last couple of years around crypto regulations seem as though they are a year away. The large organizations, such as banks, are now embracing the technology, and they are looking at it and saying, yes, this is disruptive. This is something that we can see when we look at all of the significant moves that are happening from financial institutions. Enterprises are now going live with distributed ledger technology solutions, and we can no longer ignore it. I mean, if you consider what has occurred in just the past few years, you can see that there is a lot going on behind the scenes right now. However, everyone is only concerned with the price because they believe that the price is the factor that determines whether or not things are truly happening. This is not how things operate, but it is important to keep in mind that this is going to change the way things are done. There is a movement of money which cannot be made inexpensive. On top of that, over here, this is something that was released by a digital asset investor, Key. And it is actually walled gardens private ledger walls coming down XRP the bridge. Check out this. To be more specific, this is with James Wallace. Specifications, and you've also mentioned the blockchain system. My question is whether or not it is going to be integrated, and more specifically, whether or not it will be integrated on the blockchain that is already in place, or whether or not you are considering developing an exceptional digital system. Okay, that is a really good question. To put it simply, the technology that we are developing for the digital Larry is a private blockchain, but it is built on the technology that is utilized in the public blockchain. To clarify, the public blockchain that we make use of is referred to as the XRP ledger. One of the things that we do for each country that we are dealing with is that we take a blockchain technology that is open source and available to the public. A whole new private version is created by us. Additionally, in order to use the blockchain, you must first be granted permission to do so. Consequently, the rationale for the benefit of it is that as follows: the technology behind the XRP ledger has been shown. It has been handling billions of transactions for quite some time. It is common knowledge that central banks want to keep certain matters a little bit more confidential, which is why we have developed a private version. Therefore, in response to your inquiry, it is a hybrid in a sense, but it is definitely not a hybrid. Absolutely autonomous platform, which is carried out in a manner that is unique to each and every project that you evaluate. Indeed, you are absolutely correct. And one of the most important things that he brought up in that particular instance was the fact that this is more of a hybrid approach. It is important to keep in mind what I have discussed in the past with regard to businesses and large institutions. They are interested in utilizing hybrid technology because it enables them to access the public ledger as well as the private ledger aspect. Additionally, the central banks must have access to private ledger technology because it is essential for them. That is a significant matter, and I believe that Ripple also saw that when they said, all right. I found that to be very interesting. The CBDC platform that we are going to need to have built on private ledger technology is going to be something that central banks are going to want, and they are going to need it. I believe that this is where we are at right now, at this very moment in time. To the extent that central banks are now engaged in conversations with Ripple, which we are aware that there are over, I believe it was 20 to 30 the last time that we looked into it. I mean, they truly are offering the best-in-class technology for this new world of banking to be realized in, and remember that I mentioned this going all the way back to the summertime. Brooks and Twistle even mentioned the fact that they are in discussions with central banks on a weekly